Hi guys and dolls, how are you today? I'm going to do a video. Hopefully my computer will behave itself, I'm hoping. And I've got my trusty little fan, so hopefully I don't melt, because today is just, you don't want to know what the weather's like today. So, those of you who are subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. You're special. For those of you who are not subscribed, it's free, doesn't cost you a dime. Hit subscribe and then hit the bell icon. Alright, I want to talk to you about, as the title says, rules for divorcing a narcissist. We don't want to obviously run around and start diagnosing people when we do not have a licensure to do so. With that being said, there are certain characteristics that are very typical of a narcissistic person. And truth be told, it doesn't really matter what the issue is with them, whether it's bipolar, multiple personality, and yes, I've dealt with people like that too. One person in particular, I have a video called When Your Friend Hates You. That'll give you a clear idea of who I'm talking about. Anyway, it doesn't matter what the word is. It doesn't matter what the verbiage is. The only thing that matters is this person has no empathy. They have no compassion. They are ruthless, cold-blooded, insensitive. The list goes on and on and on. And they're very good at acting, because when you first get with them, they are your personal knight in shining armor or your personal princess or something. But that's all an act. And the extent that they go to perpetrate that front is just unbelievable. There's no limit to how nice they are. But there's also no limit to the evil when it comes, kicks in. So you need a divorce attorney that is familiar with narcissists, because, or with, narcissists in particular, because it's a different ball game when you're, dealing with them. You're dealing with a completely different situation, not your average situation at all by any means. So this is some of the research I found and some of the ideas that I saw that I thought would be good. Forget about having an amicable, that's such a tricky word. We don't say that every day, right? Let's try that again. Forget about having an amicable divorce. See, I can talk. Leave me alone. All right. If being married to a narcissist seems like hell, divorcing a narcissist is hell on steroids. Separation and divorce trigger the narcissist's deepest insecurities and fears of rejection and abandonment. While no sane person wants to spend years of their life and tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on legal fees in their divorce, narcissists are different. For narcissists, divorce is not just the end of their marriage, it is a full-blown existential crisis. Don't expect them to go down without a fight. Even if they want the divorce, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't take the bait. Narcissists feed on your emotions. They enjoy getting a reaction when they push your buttons. They love drama. So the more you act and react to what a narcissist says and does, the more the narcissist wins. The only way you can come close to winning with the narcissist is not to engage in their battle in the first place. If you fight, you will lose. Controlling your own emotions, that's not an easy task. Anyway, controlling your own emotions and refusing to allow yourself to get sucked into the drama is the only way you stand a chance of coming out of your divorce with your sanity and self-respect intact. Hint, get a therapist now, you're going to need the support. And none of this is a joke. This is very, very serious. They will stop at nothing to make your life a living hell. So the person that you met in the beginning, I love you. I want to be with you forever. You don't know how much you mean to me. I will never, ever leave you. I love you. That's all BS. All of that is fake, phony BS. It's convincing as hell when you're with the person. But then if they convince you to marry them because they're so wonderful and they're your soulmate, the real personality comes out. Accept that everything is going to be your fault, at least according to your spouse. They love to, what is it called? There's something called a smear campaign with narcissists, okay? The smear campaign is them breaking their neck to tell all your friends and all your family that you are the worst thing alive. You are horrible. You are ruthless, uncaring, insensitive. The list goes on. Selfish. They suspect that you're a narcissist. Yes, the narcissist will say that you are a narcissist. Okay? That's called the smear campaign. Anyway, accept that everything is going to be your fault, at least according to your spouse. Narcissists don't accept responsibility for their own bad behavior, ever. They are also hypersensitive to criticism. That means that, at least as far as the narcissist is concerned, nothing bad is ever their fault. By default, that means that if something bad happened, it must be your fault. If you get all tied up in knots trying to prove that you are the good guy, you will waste an enormous amount of time and energy. Nothing you can ever say or do will make the narcissist believe that he or she is wrong. This isn't gender specific, like I've told you guys before. What's more, unless the bad behavior you are contesting is legally relevant, the judge probably doesn't care about it either. So, unless it pertains to legal, the judge is not trying to hear, Your Honor, I was recovering from surgery and I was moaning in pain and my spouse mocked me. I moaned in pain and he or she thought it was absolutely funny. The judge really doesn't want to hear all that because, and it sounds cold-blooded, but they just want to pertain to, they want to focus on what's legal, okay? So the legalities are the only thing that they're concerned about, not the ruthlessness, unless it's trying to destroy your life, okay? So, put my peepers back on so I can actually see. Don't even think about what's fair. In divorce, fair is just another four-letter word that starts with F. Nothing about divorcing a narcissist is going to be fair, period, full stop. The more you focus on how unfair your situation is, the more miserable you will become. It sounds corny, but your mindset makes an enormous difference in the amount of pain you feel while you are going through a divorce. In the long run, you will be much happier if you focus on your own goals than you would be if you focus on all the crap that your spouse is getting away with. In your divorce, and your spouse will very likely get away with a lot. Again, sorry. This is what the article says. The article's apologizing for this. Okay. Do your best to limit your court time. The legal system is a narcissist Disneyland. They thrive on conflict and courtroom drama. The same legal hearing that has your stomach tied in knots for weeks in advance gives them an emotional high. The problem is none of the alternatives to going to court are going to work when you're divorcing a narcissist either. Plus, they are all voluntary, so no matter what you do, you're likely to end up in court. While you can't stop your spouse from going to court every other day, you can work on dialing down the drama on your end. Don't inflate court action unless you have no choice. When you go to court, keep your cool. Now, this is something else that y'all need to pay attention to. Don't assume that the judge will see through the narcissist BS. Narcissists, especially those who are attractive, successful, and financially well off, excel at charming people. Remember, they charmed you too. They will charm the judge, at least at first. The only way to show the judge your spouse's true colors is with evidence. You will need to present the court with cold hard facts. Making impassioned emotional pleas to the judge only makes you look crazy. Plus, your spouse is probably doing his or her best to manipulate the judge into believing that you are the bad guy. You'll be much better off keeping your mouth shut until you can prove every word you say. Document everything. One of the narcissist's most common tactics is known as gaslighting. She or he will probably say or do things to make you question your own sanity. A narcissist will lie or change the story in order to manipulate you into believing what he or she wants. What's more, narcissists can be so convincing at doing this that eventually even you start doubting yourself on an epic scale. I am still hot with a fan going. That's not good. The only way you stand a chance at combating a narcissist's manipulation of the truth is by documenting everything you can. Keep records of everything. If you have to talk to your spouse face to face, always do it with someone else present. That way there's always someone who can verify with your spouse, verify what your spouse really said. Do not use your children for this. Let me repeat that. Do not use your children for this. Okay? Rally your troops around you as soon as you can. Expect your spouse to try to separate you from your family and friends. She or he will play the victim to everyone and will try to make everyone see you as the bad guy. What's more, your spouse will try to get to your family and friends first so that she or he can convince them that you're horrible while he or she is innocent. The sooner you can build your own divorce support group, the better off you will be. It doesn't matter if some of your family and friends side with your spouse. All you need is a core group of people who know you, believe you, and can be there to emotionally support you as you go through your divorce. Plus, you are also going to need a good therapist, someone who understands narcissistic behavior and can keep you from feeling like you're the crazy one. Minimize your face time. Engaging in daily battles with your spouse will drain your energy and keep you from making forward progress on the things that really matter to you. Unfortunately, if you have kids, you're going to need to deal with your spouse all the time. You will have to communicate with your spouse whether you want to or not. Do your best to limit your communications to email and text. That serves two purposes. One, it eliminates verbal confrontations every time you see your spouse. And two, it creates a record of everything that each of you says. That eliminates a lot of the he said, she said battles in court. There are a lot of really cool automated parenting apps that can help you manage your co-parenting communications. Click here to get a list of popular co-parenting tools. By the way, this is KarenCovey.com. Karen, is that C-O-V-Y? Yeah, KarenCovey.com. So tiny. Anyway, set boundaries and stick to them. Narcissists have no boundaries. Let me repeat that again. Narcissists have no boundaries. They have an extreme sense of entitlement. The world owes them everything just because they live in it, at least according to them. They believe they deserve everything they want. Other people, including their kids, exist simply to serve their needs. What's more, because they lack empathy, they can't even understand that anyone else has needs. That's a foreign concept to them. That's like if I know fluent Egyptian, and I'm talking to you and you've never heard it, you're going to be like, am I supposed to respond to that? Like, that's how a narcissist is when it comes to understanding other people's feelings. It's just a bizarre concept to them. If you don't set firm boundaries with a narcissist, you will forever be a pawn in their own private chess game. You need to establish what you will and will not tolerate. When you make agreements, you need to put them in writing and make them as detailed as possible. Then you need to enforce your agreements all the time. So if you go to KarenCovey.com and put in divorcing a narcissist, 10 survival tips you're going to need, it will You know, it'll help you. KarenCovey.com. KarenCovy.com. And you put in Divorcing a Narcissist, 10 survival tips you're going to need. I'll try to remember to put that in the description of the video. Another thing that I'm going to tell you that nobody else is going to tell you, because you know I'm notorious for telling you things that other people are going to be quiet about. I don't know why this thing is not working. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm having issues. Oh, come on. Come on. You know you want to do it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Oh, my God. You're such a pain. Anyway. Oh, one thing that they're not going to tell you is, in my situation, I didn't have kids. Thank you, Jesus, I didn't have kids, because if you think your divorce is hell without kids, imagine with kids, okay? That's another reason I want you guys to go to this page, because if you go down in the article further down the page, you will see where it says click here, and it'll give you co-parenting tools that will help you through this situation. So I just wanted to make sure that I make that readily available to you. In my case, I don't have kids, but I have a disability, and I can't work. I lost my career because of my body. I was almost killed in a car accident back in the day. So, and it caught up with me, finally caught up with me. So anyway, here's the story, or here's the deal. If that person that you're married to is not going to live in the same state as you, when they are ordered, especially in my case without kids, it may be different if there's kids involved, and you can talk to your attorney about this, okay? If they skip the state after you went to court, because they're not from that area. My ex is not from Missouri. My ex is from Pennsylvania. So court was in Missouri, but he didn't show up to court, and he skipped to Pennsylvania. So everything that the judge said, this is what you're going to pay her per month, this is what this, that, and the other, because they're going to get, and everything's going to pretty much go in your favor so far as certain things, just because that other person didn't show up to court. So the court looks at it like, well, obviously you don't care, so I'm going to award this, that, and the other to the spouse. Soon to be ex-spouse. Well, in my case, it's a done deal, and I'm so glad, so glad. Oh my God, I should have had a divorce party. Anyway, so yes, alimony was ordered in the state of Missouri. It's called maintenance. That was ordered, but when that person skips the state because they don't live there and they ran away, and then on top of that, the person is working under the table, you're not going to get your money. They're still going to be in control of the money, and they're going to decide what you get if and when you get it. So they thrive off of that control. They just have to have that to breathe. So it's almost like, I don't want to say court was a waste of time, but in the sense of ordering, support, maintenance is what it's called here, that doesn't apply in this situation because he's hiding his money. He's working underneath the table. I wish there were laws that could, well, see, they don't know where you're working, so they can't really come after you for the money that you're in arrears for, because they're sneaking and hiding and ducking, and, they're hiding their money. So I informed them, the court, that he was doing that, and it didn't make a difference. So if that person decides, I'm not paying you nothing, bye, and they start hiding their money, even if they're in the same state. If in the same state, it's different, because, and I've found this out through my attorney, you learn a lot through this whole process. You will learn. But even if they're in the same state and they refuse to pay you, and they're hiding their money, they can go to jail because they're in that area. They can be arrested for contempt of court. If they're not in your area and they go to another state and they start hiding their money and they start giving you whatever, continue to give you the peanuts that they've been giving you, there's absolutely nothing the court's going to do about it. They're not going to come after that person. They're not going to incur the expense of going after that person physically and dragging them back to Missouri to go to jail. They're not going to do that unless you've killed somebody. Then there's no limit to how far they will go to get you. Even if you escape to another country, they will eventually find you. The marshals, will find you. U.S. Marshals will find you. But, yeah, it's almost like it was a waste of time going to court because he's going to continue to hide his money as much as he can. He's a sneaky bastard, and his money is his. I don't care what the law says. If you've been married more than 10 years, you're entitled to... that doesn't matter in a court situation. It doesn't make any difference. So it was almost like it was a waste of time. The court will not go after him, and that's it. He's in Pennsylvania, and that's all the person has to do is skip out of the state and hide under the table. And let me tell you something else that might blow your mind, but get prepared for it. Because narcissists are so good at fooling people, because let's face it, they fooled us, right? With their fake charm and loads of BS, right? They can also fool your family and friends. You will find out who's really in your corner and who's not. Because by the time they mess with their minds, they will have them convinced, if they're not strong in their head, they will have them convinced that, you think you know your friend, but your friend is a narcissist. Yes, the narcissist will accuse you being a narcissist, will tell your family and friends that you're a narcissist, that you are unstable, you're bipolar, you should have been on medication a long time ago. And if your friends and family are not, if they're easily swayed by people who are manipulative, they will side with your spouse. So you're going to find out who's truly in your corner and who's not. Okay? If you have any questions about the kid thing, you got kids, what do I do if he skips a state and works under the table, what do I do? Or she, or whatever the case is. Although the law doesn't really chase after women who owe maintenance, they more or less come down on the man as hard as they can, and when the woman owes money, the law lets women have a totally different set of rules. I don't know why that is, but that's the reality. So if your spouse is a woman and she's a narc and she's supposed to pay you, the law may not. There's a strong possibility they won't go after her. I don't know why. That's kind of ridiculous. It's not kind of ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So don't enforce something in court if you're not going to you're not going to stick to what's on paper and legally documented and everything, but it depends on the circumstances. Well, if that's the case, then let's not even go to court. It's a waste of time. But then you're not going to get a divorce if you don't go to court unless it's amicable, and then you can have a, I don't remember what it's called, a mediator. I think it's a mediator. Sometimes you could go to court if it's amicable through a mediator, and you don't have to necessarily go to court. So it all depends on your state. It all depends on if the divorce is amicable or not, So anyway, go ahead and check out that website. And if you are going through this, I'm really sorry. Put your seatbelt on. Put your seatbelt on. It's going to be a bumpy ass ride. And there may be different laws pertaining to child support. But then again, if they're hiding their money, I don't know. I know there was a judge in Pennsylvania that had told somebody, so far as enforcing the child support, they gave that person like 30 days because they kept ducking child support, ducking. And finally the judge got tired of it and said, you got 30 days to get a job or else you're going to jail. So it all depends on the state and how firm they are in pushing to get that money for child support. So talk to your attorney if you have any questions, and I will leave this information in the description. And if you're going through this, I'm really, really sorry. You're going to need real friends and real family to support you and lift you up, because it is a nightmare. It is a emotional it's a roller coaster that you don't want to ever be on. So just get ready and make sure you've got people in your corner who love you. because you're going to need them. Okay? I love you guys. Take care. Talk to you next time.